Hello, everybody. Okay. Um, I was just sharing. I opened up, oh boy, it brought so much of what I've been sharing into perspective. And it's what I have found is A Course in Miracles is not a religion. We know this. And this is what separates it from all religions. Sin. Because there is no sin, according to Jesus. There is no sin. Hitler did not sin. If you murder someone, you're not sinning. But quite frankly, and believe me, my mind is opening up to all this right now. Because we're talking about what is sin, and it's in the Course in Miracles, part 2 of the workbook, the lessons, and they have a whole page on what is sin. And I'm going to try and talk about it, knowing that I'm going to have to switch from my perceptual mind to my God mind, and it may get very confusing, okay? I'm going to do a little bit of refresher. So the mind training in A Course in Miracles is all about pulling back the projection, okay? Those first few lessons in A Course in Miracles, it's telling you to move your eyes around the room and this is not a chair, whatever. Because we give everything the meaning that it has for us. Now, a lot of things, depending on the culture, will have several meanings. But sin, and to my understanding, sin is kind of across the board. That's why we have religions that have popped up to help people not sin. But what Jesus is telling us, we're sinless. We are innocent. Really let that sink in. We are innocent. Sin is impossible. In fact, the very first line of this page on what is sin, the first sentence, sin is insanity. Okay? If you believe in sin, you're insane. Now, really let that sit in. If you believe in sin, you're insane. And this will challenge a lot of things. I know it has for me. So basically, we're loving thoughts in the mind of God. That's all we are. We're loving thoughts in the mind of God. Everything else we've made up. And that's why it's so important to pull back your projections, because all they are is made up ideas that we believe in. And that's insane. We're loving thoughts. We were created as a loving thought in the mind of God. But we came into this world with this idea, I can do it better, which is insane. And that's when sin was born. Okay? When we came into this world, we gave birth to this belief in sin, that it's even possible. And it's what keeps us crazy, because we're all seeing everything as good, bad, right, wrong. Everything, all perceptions. Now, if you step back a little second, so the body is just a projection. Our bodies are just a projection in our minds. Okay. So everything coming in from the body, and you can ask the most world-renowned neurophysicists, and they will tell you this, that our worlds are created by our perceptions that come in via our senses: smell, sight, taste, touch. Okay. And that's why everything that looks like we're making it wrong, we have got to stop and pull back the projection. It's the very first thing in working with the mind. Pull back the projection. See the real meaning we're giving to the projection. Okay, that woman is annoying. Okay, why is she annoying? She's loud. Okay. And then I start inquiring within my own mind, am I loud? Am I? You see, all projections are we make ourselves wrong. And it's safer to put it in a projection out there than own that that's what we're really thinking. You've got to pull back to projection, because the projection is based on our senses: smell, touch, taste, thought. It's all made up in our perception. Perception is nonsense. Perception is not knowledge. And I'm not talking about knowledge in the sense that the linear world talks about knowledge. That's very linear knowledge. You gain so much knowledge and then you get more knowledge and then you get more, pay more money, more knowledge. That's linear. That's the horizontal's idea of knowledge. Knowledge that I'm talking about is the knowledge that we all are trying to get back to remember who we are, which is just love. But we have all these layered thoughts all over it about how the world is good, bad, right, and wrong. That's because we're fearful. And we can't see love as long as we're fearful. And I'm sitting here as I'm talking, I'm thinking this may be my last talk, folks, because I'm moving into some really skinny branches. And at this point, I'm really only wanting to go completely quiet. So knowledge with a capital K that we're trying to get back to is why we're projecting all these lessons that we would learn. The lessons that hook us. Ooh, that's wrong. Ooh, that makes me angry. Ooh, that makes me confused. All of those are just projected thoughts of lessons we must learn. And as you pull them back and see what the source is, what's the belief under it, dismantle that belief and move on. At some point, you start to see it's all the same. Someone may be having a fight with their spouse, another person may be dealing with anorexia, another person may be dealing with a death in the family. They're all the same problem. They're challenging our belief system. And the belief system, I was raised Catholic, and I remember this coming up, and it really drove me crazy when I first saw it, is all babies are born with venial sin. I think they're babies. How can they be born with sin? They couldn't be more innocent. But that's why we have this whole thing called baptism. It's to make sure that they, oh God, there's I don't even know what it is. They'll go into limbo if they're not baptized before they die. I mean, there's all kinds of weird things that churches have with this. But sin is insanity. And then I went into Course in Miracles and was looking, because we're knowledge. And this is not linear knowledge. The knowledge that we are only love. That's really the only truthful knowledge, that we are only love. And in chapter 3, Beyond Perception, it says, knowledge transcends the laws governing perception. Perception comes in through our senses. That's where we make our first mistake. We make all these determinations based on senses. Okay, it's very horizontal learning. But if you go back and pull back all these projections, you'll eventually get to, I made it all up. This whole world I made up. Because knowledge transcends the laws governing perception. So I can't trust anything that I perceive. Absolutely nothing. And then the second half of this sentence, because partial knowledge is impossible. So to say that I'm sometimes loving and I'm sometimes not is just bullshit that I keep feeding myself. Because every time I say I'm not good enough, I'm negating the truth, true knowledge that I am love, period. Sin is insanity. And this is not insane like in the horizontal thinking. Sin is impossible according to Jesus. It's impossible. That's the insanity we're talking about, which tells me every time I say I'm not good enough or I'm doing something wrong or whatever in that right-wrong scale I'm putting myself on, I'm insane. Period. I'm insane. Because sin is just this scale of right and wrong. And if you think about it, our whole world is built on this scale. You know, think of any war on the planet. There's good and bad. That's the reason we have war. The judicial system, it's all based on there's right and wrong. And this mind training is really to get myself to the point I don't break myself out from the truth, the knowledge that I am only love, incapable of right, wrong, good, bad. Because see, if I see myself as incapable of right, wrong, good, bad, I can't see anyone else as right, wrong, good, bad. And then it gets dicey. And I've been in a dicey place for a while now. Knowing that what I'm thinking is causing me suffering, the reason it's causing me suffering is because I'm breaking it out onto this belief system that there's got to be some truth that I can put my hat on. And right, wrong, which is sin, see it as love or fear. That's an easier way. Love, capital L, not the small l of the linear world, but capital L, love, the love of God, knows no opposite. And at some point, and it just came this week when I was reading and rereading this, what is sin? Sin is insanity. And anytime I'm insane, I will suffer. I will have pain, I'll be depressed, I'll have whatever falls out from that as a lesson that I would learn in order to get back into a right frame of mind that tells me I am love. And one of the things I've really gotten clear on, because I've been dealing with, probably for several years now, this self-loathing, for lack of a better words. I'm not good enough. I don't look right. I don't talk right. I don't blend in well, whatever. It's all self-loathing. And as I've been pulling back my projections, because projections come out of that self-loathing, it's easier to project my self-loathing out there than it is for me to really embrace how much self-loathing I've had. So as I'm projecting it out there, I pull back the projection, I dismantle it and go, wow, that was all aimed at me. Every time I'm projecting out there, I suffer. The only one that can suffer. I point my finger out there, that's wrong. It's like me just, slap myself in the face because there is no out there. There's just this idea in my mind that I'm less than love. And every time I'm thinking I'm less than love, I'm in a fearful state. And it's all just fear or love. There is nothing else. So this chapter on sin, I'm just going to really deal with the first paragraph because it's deep, and just allow this to really go deep. Sin is insanity. It is the means by which the mind is driven mad. Just shorten this. Sin is the means by which the mind is driven mad and seeks to let illusions take the place of truth. And being mad, my mind, it sees illusions where the truth should be. This is just love or fear. If I'm seeing illusions, I'm in a fearful state. I can't see the truth. I can't see love. So when I'm seeing sin, my mind is mad. And being mad, it sees illusions where the truth should be and where it really is in my mind. Sin gave the body's eyes. Remember, everything we believe, all the perceptions that we see come in through our senses. We make it all mean something. It's hot, I don't like hot. It's cold, I don't like cold. Smells bad, I don't like smelling bad. I'm hearing anger, I don't like anger. It's just, we are allowing our perceptions to drag us around like a bull with a ring in our neck. So this is this concept that we see illusions where the truth should be. If I'm making anything wrong, if I'm fearful about anything, if I'm confused or depressed or whatever, I am believing my body's eyes. That's perceptual sight. Sin gave the body eyes for what is there, the sinless would behold. Nothing. There's nothing there. But with sin giving my body eyes, I see sin. What need have they of sights, sounds, or touch? It talks about perception right there. Sin is made up. Well, here again, what would they hear or reach to grasp? Our perceptions are all sin. It's our way of breaking out sin. This is right and this is wrong. Sin is wrong. Love is right, but that's in the horizontal. What I'm talking about is the vertical love, the love of God. It's who we are. That's knowledge, capital N. What would senses sense at all? To sense is not to know. And truth can be but filled with knowledge and nothing else. This is the truth, capital T, is filled with knowledge, not linear knowledge. It's the truth of who we are. We are only love. And that's all we can see unless we break it out through this filter called perception. Oh boy. I'm going to leave it at that because this is a lot. And if you can even hear just a fraction of what I'm saying, I encourage you to go read What is Sin? Because it's all in there. The reason we're here. Everything is a lesson I would learn. And the only lesson I need to learn is that sin can't exist. And this is going to challenge the foundational belief that keeps this whole virtual reality alive. For if we don't believe in sin, it dismantles the world very, very quickly. Okay. I think I'm going to leave that for now, just because this is a big topic. I will probably address this again next week because, there's a lot more. But if you can just get this, takes us back to the mind training. How to do the mind training is to pull back our projections, every single one of it. If we're making anything wrong or right, that has to be pulled back and has to be dismantled with the help of Holy Spirit through prayer. That's the only way. That's the mind training. And this is what differentiates religion from A Course in Miracles. A Course in Miracles has nothing to do with religion. Course in Miracles is how to train ourselves to be love and see only love. That's A Course in Miracles. Okay? So for now, we're going to say goodbye to all YouTube people, and we'll see if there's another Zoom coming at this point.